Welcome everyone back to Mr. Weather Updates, and today's a look in the live radar, the UKV, having the temperatures the next 5 days, and the temperatures as well, to have a look and see what the developments of this, heat wave is for next week. Now, though it could be about a week long, this heat wave is nowhere near as intense as, let's say, the one we had a couple of weeks ago where we saw nearly 38 Celsius in June. So, it is, like I said, nowhere near likely to be that hot. It's not record-breaking heat wave. So I'm not going to say it's going to get to 40 Celsius, which it's definitely not going to be. It's going to be typical. It's going to be more like high 20s and low 30s. So, obviously, that's, something we need to know. So, even though we have a heat wave, it is still an anticyclone, which we are going to have to look at. We'll still look at some developments of it, though. We'll just make sure to do that. But yeah, like I said, it will be a heat wave, but another difference is it won't be as widespread as we recently seen with the other heat wave, which did actually spread quite far north to Yorkshire, Northern England as well. But we are likely to see heat wave thresholds being in more specific areas. So let's start off with the live radar. You can see it's quite an unsettled picture for, especially, more specifically, northern areas. For example, we've got a band of rain affecting eastern Scotland, north-eastern England, and far north of Scotland. It's not all of it's heavy. It's more persistent, moderate rain. Could actually cause some localised flooding, actually, if it keeps carrying on. We've also got another front coming in to parts of northern England that could drift further south, maybe getting some patchy rain at times. Maybe some heavier pulses possible with the odd, with some gusty winds possible. The winds are strengthening throughout the night. We'll have a look at that in a moment. But it won't be too bad tomorrow, other than the wind and obviously the rain that will fall overnight. If you have a look at the UKV, have a look at the precipitation over the next 5 days and the UKV, you can see again we've got the same band of rain moving in to northern. Okay, I've just noticed it's really underneath that frontal system there as the UKV, I've just noticed. But yeah, we still have that frontal rain pushing in, could provide some heavier pulses or showers, but will fizzle out throughout the night. Again, the winds are going to gust out. We could see some patchy showers at times, maybe in the east. We've got another band of rain pushing into Scotland. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Tuesdays then, so sorry, that's my fault. So this is today. Just ignore what I've just said there. We have that huge band of rain moving into Scotland. Moderate, more likely than, heavy. We could actually see some heavy pulses actually on the hills. That could cause some localised flooding. It's quite persistent. It will last for quite a few hours before it moves away. We can see another front of rain pushing southwards, perhaps heavy at times. But as we get more further south, it does start to fizzle out a little bit. It's more patchy, so not very good for the garden, really. Obviously, since the lack of rainfall we had in the south so far. Other than that, not bad day, actually. Nice and clear. Probably quite a optimal summer's day. Not too hot, not too cold, and it will be a bit windy, though. But I think that's the only, weather to see. And obviously that patchy rain. If you have a look at Friday, again, quite similar, actually. We've still got a band of rain pushing in. Nowhere near as persistent. It's a lot smaller. But again, still could provide some persistent rain if possible. Nowhere near as heavy. Maybe some heavy pulses later. On to Saturday, again, quite similar. We've got a couple of fizzling showers going up, moving to the south. Maybe providing some patchy rain to Cumbria and Yorkshire. Probably not going to reach the south. I think all that's going to do is probably move in some cloud. Maybe outbreaks of drizzle possible, but that's probably it, unfortunately, for the south. Sunday, again, we've still got another band of rain affecting northwestern England and Scotland, lingering for a time, quite persistent, not affecting at all England, though. Maybe odd spot of drizzle. Otherwise, a bit cloudy, a bit grim. May break up later. If we do have a look at the temperatures. Excuse me, if we do look at the temperatures. You could see, very similar to what we've had for quite a few weeks, for this week anyway. Exactly around average for the time of year, 24, perhaps 25 Celsius would have been reached today. So that's today, obviously. I keep forgetting, I don't know why I'm looking at Wednesdays, but I got about that. It's about 25.4, I think, was the highest temperature today. So the UKV has been quite good at the temperatures, so it probably got to that. If you do have a look at Thursday, there we go. It's a touch warmer in the south, but it's still quite cool in northwestern areas. You could see some mid, perhaps high teens, low 20s. But in the south, we could see 25, perhaps even 26 Celsius is possible. So on an upward trend for now. But very gradual, though. If we do compare to Friday again, we can see the, milder warm spot is starting to get more widespread into parts of England now. Northern England is more likely to see 20 degrees, but still Scotland lingering in the mid to low teens. But in eastern Scotland, we can still see 20 Celsius in Aberdeenshire, away from where that grim weather is. In further south, widespread mid, perhaps even high 20s are possible. So 26, 27 Celsius is possible. So slightly above average there. It's not showing a little bit of that warm trend. Now look over to Saturday. And you can see that heat starting to building even further, especially in southeastern areas. Still could see 20 Celsius somewhere in eastern Scotland, northern England. Most likely eastern areas than western areas. Still quite cool in northwestern areas. We're into southeastern central areas, or southern and central areas. We could see heatwave thresholds going on in that area. So we could see widespread mid to high 20s. So we can see 28, 29, perhaps even a local 30 Celsius. So that would definitely reach heatwave thresholds in that area. If you have a look at to Sunday, very similar temperatures. This time we have the warmth starting to build in slightly more into northern England. Still could see low, perhaps mid 20s in the north and Yorkshire. If you look at the rest of England, quite widespread actually, not as hot, but around about the same really, but widespread mid, perhaps even high 20s. So we could see 27, 28, 29, perhaps still seeing, we could see still 30 Celsius. It depends where the cloud cover is. If there's more cloud cover, probably can express more, but in breaks we could actually see 30 Celsius possible. Perhaps even more as we go on to the next couple of weeks. Nothing exceptional yet on the UKV. And I'm not expecting to see anything going above 35 Celsius in my opinion. It's more going to be like high 20s, low 30s. It's not going to go anywhere higher than 32 Celsius most likely. I mean, it's more like a typical heat wave that we see in, let's say, England. So don't get your hopes up on don't need to be moving out hot, like seriously hot weather. But that's what I think. If you have a look at the GFS and compare it to some other samples, just restart it quickly. We have got that area of low pressure affecting Scotland. You can see the tightening in the isobars. That can spice some fairly windy weather, perhaps a bit unseasonably windy weather for parts of mostly northern England, Scotland. You can see gusts up to 40, 45 mile per hour winds, which is quite unusual for the time of year. And there could be some patchy showers to the north, but you can see that high pressure starting to build in from the southwest. We could still see some low pressure systems affecting the north, but we can see that high pressure is starting to build quite a lot. This is probably like the peak of the heat wave according to GMS, before we get like a thundery breakdown. Very temporary though, especially in northern areas, due to that clashing of the Atlantic influence and the warm air. That's what I'm expecting. Then looking over to the midweek, the high pressure does actually start to build in quite a lot, actually. You could still see some showers and thunderstorms in the south, but it does supply a lot of warm weather. It does not look like it's going to break. Maybe at the end here, it does seem more showery. Could see some more showers, but nothing like a Atlantic weather yet. Nowhere near, in fact. We could still see plenty of hot spells to come. So if I do compare to the temperatures here, that is supplying. Nothing extreme yet. It's more like prolonged above average spells and, got a persistent heat wave, let's say. We could still see a few heat spikes there. You can see that heat wave there. This is what the temperature is suggesting at the peak. Maybe overdoing it slightly, but we'll have to see what happens there. If you do compare to the ECM, again, we've got that low pressure system to the north. Again, that could supply some patchy rain, but more persistent rain in the north of Scotland and some gusty winds possible. Again, we can see that high pressure starting to build in quite rapidly, actually. Could see some Atlantic breaks, but still supplying plenty of high pressure, plenty of anticyclonic conditions to come. No, let's say nothing to do with Atlantic influence yet. If you have a look at the temperatures over 850 HPA according to the GFS, let's have a look. Doesn't look too hot, really. If I am looking at the right one, yeah. Doesn't look too exceptional yet. Maybe feeding into 17-degree isotherm. It's a little bit hard to say, really. It's not really doing a great justice to this yet. But again, you can see some fairly warm air moving in. I think the ECM is sort of underdoing it a little bit compared to the GFS, which is overdoing it. So probably somewhere in between is more likely than or either side, if you know what I mean. If you look at the UK Met Euro one, again, we've got that low pressure system. Again, we've got them tight ice bars, could supply some winds possible. There we get that that high pressure feeding into the south. Nothing exceptional in terms of the temperatures, really, other than probably heat wave thresholds. But if we have a look at the 850 HPA temperatures, we are not bad, actually, in terms of how high it's going to be. Widely, temperatures at 850 HPA. About mid, perhaps high teens, 17 degrees at 850 HPA would supply temperatures between 27 and 32 degrees. So that is the most like that. I think I'd rather believe this model instead than the other ones, because there was going to doing it either side. So this is probably the most likely, in my opinion. Most likely between 27 and 32 degrees for the week, then probably an Atlantic influence there. That is my opinion. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next